a game of field goals. Matt in Denver, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Matt.
Tom, thanks for having me on, man. Great show.
Matt, thank you. What are we debating tonight?
Oh, not a whole lot, man.
Okay. Usually you're fired up about something I said.
Oh, no, yeah. I wanted to touch base on, I don't care what anyone says about players. It's very hard to compare players, even in the same era. The more players you add per team, for instance, or per sport. In the NFL, for instance, very, very, very difficult to compare players when there's 21 other guys. In the NBA, a little easier because there is 9 other guys. Pitching a baseball, super easy. It's one dude doing the thing. So, you backed up Peyton Manning. I heard you before. I've always backed up Peyton Manning too. Same thing. And like you said with your statements about LeBron James and Michael Jordan, he goes to Cleveland, he leaves Cleveland. Scottie Pippen stays in Chicago. What was the outcome? Does that make LeBron a better player? That type of thing. Very, very difficult to compare players, right?
It is to an extent, but you could always do it. I mean, it's not as easy as some people make it seem, but it's not as difficult as you're making it seem. A lot of it has to do with that particular player in a certain era. Like Bob Cousy is still one of the best point guards of all time, even though he might not translate quite as well to today's NBA. You got to compare him to his peers in the 50s and 60s. Same thing with quarterbacks. That's why when I have a quarterback discussion, I usually keep it Super Bowl era, which is why I go Montana and then Brady. What's your point ultimately, though?
Ultimately, my point is I want to get back to one you and I have had several times. You earlier, I laughed for a minute, and it's one of the reasons I really had to call in. It's because you were convincing yourself. You said, Russell Wilson's he's number 5. He's right around there. You pause for a second, and then you go, yeah, he's right around there, number 5. And it's
No, actually, no. I have Russell Wilson better than 5.
His circumstance and his.
I have Russell Wilson, the 3rd best quarterback entering this year. Let's make that clear, number 1. So
he's the what?
3rd best quarterback entering this year.
In the NFL?
Not the CFL. Yeah, that'd be the National Football League, correct.
Come on, Don. We know you don't think that's true.
Of course I do. Absolutely I do. He's 26 years of age, trending upwards. Peyton Manning's trending the wrong direction at the moment. I certainly I'm not going to put Tony Romo in front of him because of one great season. I mean, I got to consider what these guys have accomplished. Or maybe I did. What did I have, Rich Mendes? What did I have, Russell Wilson?
I think you had him 3.
I did have him 3. That's what I thought. Because we did this a couple weeks ago. I'm not interested in going over the list of quarterbacks again, frankly. But I'm pretty sure I had him at 3. Yep.
I say, it's the same reason. It's back to the same point. Comparing people, very, very difficult. His situation, I can tell you this, if he couldn't run the ball in that situation, he'd struggle mightily, but he can.
Well, that's great. He can run the ball. So what's next? Yeah. I mean, that's like saying if Montana couldn't pass the ball in that situation, he would have struggled mightily. It's a strength of his.
As far as quarterback skills go historically, he fits the system that they have, and it's a great place for him to be. I don't think there's, out of 29 other teams, he could be as successful as he is there. Do you agree?
No, I think he'd have success elsewhere. Do I think Seattle is perfect for him? Yeah, I do. I think Seattle would be nice to get him an option on the outside. I mean, his wide receivers are putrid. I can't think of a worse wide receiver tandem in the National Football League, frankly.
Well, Tom, I tell you what, man, it was choice between talking to my wife and talking to you, and buddy, you won by a freaking landslide. I'll call you soon.
Appreciate it. I think that's a compliment. Mike in Texas, I hope for his wife's sake. Well, anyway, Mike, you're on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Paul.